Our movie starts with two people running from something. They try to use their cell phones, but whatever is out there is blocking the signal, so their phones don't work. Exhausted, they decide to sit down and rest for a moment. Suddenly, they notice someone coming toward them, a woman who looks like a zombie, and she attacks them. The scene then shifts to another place, where we meet Carlos, whom his friends teasingly call Blasco. He's cleaning his glass eye, which he's oddly proud of, and getting his car ready to start his trip. The first passenger to get in is a girl named Mariel. He immediately starts chatting, telling her he's from Argentina and that Argentinians are very religious. He says religion means as much to them as soccer, something they love deeply, and that it's the same across much of South America. Mariel cuts him off, saying she's not interested. She's from Mexico, which is in North America, and she's clearly annoyed and can't stand his nonstop talking. Blasco, being a typical chatty driver, keeps going until she finally puts her earbuds in and leaves him talking to himself. Blasco gets a phone call telling him not to be late to his destination because people there have set off warning flares. He brushes it off like it's a joke. When he reaches a street called Cadalso, a woman named Lydia and her daughter Marta get in. Marta seems distant and keeps to herself at first. Blasco helps Lydia load their bags into the car. Meanwhile, Mariel takes a pill, suggesting she's not feeling well. She steps out of the car to get some air and runs into Marta, but Marta doesn't really respond, which irritates Mariel. Lydia notices a sword inside the car and asks why he has it. Blasco explains that he used to be a bullfighter when he was young. He says he quit smoking and also quit bullfighting, and now he's just carrying the sword to give it to his cousin, who's a beginner bullfighter. Lydia calls Marta over, telling her she won't do everything for her and that she should carry her own things. Once inside, Blasco shows them around the car. Lydia sits down, and he introduces her to Mariel, who's also heading to the same village. Lydia tells Marta to get in the back seat, but Marta refuses, saying she gets carsick and throws up. Things get tense, and Blasco suggests Marta sit in the front with him, while Lydia and Mariel sit together in the back. Lydia is uneasy about her daughter sitting up front, especially since Blasco starts off a little flirty. He tries to light a cigarette, but Marta stops him. She keeps staring at his eye, and when he asks why, she points at it. He tells her it's an old injury from his bullfighting days. Marta doesn't believe him and thinks he's making it up. She says she knows a lot about injuries like that and shows him the wrinkles and marks on her face. Blasco guesses she must have burned herself trying to smoke and that a lighter probably flared up in her face, which explains why she hates smoking. She doesn't answer, and Lydia tells him that's enough and to stop talking to her daughter. Lydia asks why there's a glass divider installed in the car. Blasco says it's there to protect against viral infections like COVID and other diseases. Marta looks around the dashboard and finds old cassette tapes, surprised that anyone still uses them. Blasco insists the sound from tapes is stronger and more authentic, the original sound. He plays some music and proudly says that Nisa, the car they're riding in, is the love of his life. He treats it like his own daughter and can't live without it. As they're driving down the road, another car suddenly cuts them off. Blasco gets angry and starts cursing, but Lydia and Mariel tell him to keep it to himself if he wants to swear. They don't want to hear that kind of language. Time passes until they suddenly stop because of thick smoke and debris scattered across the road. Blasco gets out to see what happened, coughing as he follows the trail of broken pieces until he finds something strange. Marta gets out after him, followed by her mother, Lydia. Blasco tells them to stay where they are because there could be something toxic in the area. But Marta notices a strange parasite in the grass. She walks toward it and tries to touch it, and suddenly something shoots out of it and slips into her finger. Marta cries out, and Lydia rushes over to check her finger, but Marta pulls away and insists there's nothing wrong. Blasco is just as frightened of the parasite and tells them to get back in the car immediately. Once inside, Lydia notices that Mariel is asleep, but her wig is slightly out of place. From that, she realizes Mariel has cancer. Lydia tries to talk to her and gradually opens up, explaining that they're heading to the village to meet her ex-husband, Marta's father. She also reveals that the wrinkles on Marta's face are from a car accident. Marta's father had a lot of alcohol in the car, and Marta barely survived the fire. Blasco keeps talking to Marta about the kinds of music he used to love. He tells her he once played guitar and sang in a band, and that girls used to fall for him all the time. Meanwhile, Marta keeps staring at her finger and notices that the parasites are multiplying and spreading across her body. She tries to show her mother what's happening, but she seems distant and unaware. In the middle of all this, they suddenly hit a woman who appears out of nowhere in the road. Blasco wants to keep driving and leave, but Mariel insists they go back and show some decency and compassion, especially since she's a nurse. They return to the scene but can't find the woman at first. After searching, they finally spot her body. Mariel quickly checks her and says she still has a pulse and might be saved. They need to call for help. They try their phones, but there's no signal. So they decide to put the injured woman in the car and drive her to the hospital themselves. Inside the car, Mariel takes care of the woman while Lydia gets into a heated argument with Blasco. Suddenly, the injured woman wakes up and attacks Mariel, trying to choke her. The same parasite crawls out of the woman's mouth and latches onto Mariel, covering her in a thick, sticky fluid. All of this happens while the others don't notice. Marta starts yelling at her mom to stop arguing and turns up the music so she doesn't have to hear her. Out of nowhere, Mariel transforms into something else entirely and attacks Lydia. Lydia tries to scream and call for Blasco and her daughter, but the music is too loud for anyone to hear. She manages to grab some of the sticky substance and throws it against the glass, finally making them realize something is terribly wrong. Shocked by the horrifying sight, Blasco stops the car and jumps out. Marta gets out too, terrified and screaming, trying to pull her mother away. But the creature overpowers Lydia and takes control of her until Blasco comes back, strikes the monster, and drags Lydia out of the car. He locks the doors, trapping the creature inside, but the entity that took over Mariel's body manages to escape from the car. The creature starts searching for them everywhere at incredible speed, so Blasco suggests to Lydia and her daughter that they split up. Blasco goes one way, while Lydia and Marta go another. Blasco climbs up a tree, and Lydia and Marta hide behind a rock. When the monster reaches the tree Blasco is hiding in, it doesn't notice him, even though he's terrified it will spot him at any second. At the same time, Lydia tries to remove the parasite from her daughter's finger. She actually succeeds, but she screams, drawing the monster toward the sound and away from Blasco. Unfortunately, Blasco slips and falls out of the tree. Lydia and Marta run again, but Lydia makes a tough decision. She tells her daughter they have to separate so she can distract the monster and give Marta a chance to escape. Marta refuses at first, but Lydia insists. She grabs a rock thinking it might protect her. Marta runs into Blasco, and he takes her so they can get back to the car and escape. On the way, they hear Lydia screaming after the monster attacks her. Blasco tries to get Marta into the car quickly, but she refuses and calls him a coward. At the last second, he opens the door for her and tells her to get in because the monster has taken over her mother's body. They speed off, only to realize the car is leaking gas. Their only option is to reach a gas station about 15 kilometers away. When they arrive, they find out that the owner, Maxi, isn't there yet and will be back soon. Blasco figures the only solution is to siphon gas from a car in the nearby village. He tells Marta not to open the door for anyone and to turn off all the lights. He heads into the village and manages to get gas from a parked car. He finds a dog in the street and notices blood on it. The dog slips through a hole in a wall, and when Blasco looks inside, he sees a man sitting in a chair with his head cut off. After filling his container with gas, Blasco rushes back, only to find Lydia there, completely possessed by the monster, trying to approach the car. Marta tries to hide. Just then, Maxi shows up, thinking she's just a regular woman who needs gas. She suddenly lunges at him with unnatural strength and cuts his head off with terrifying ease. Marta gets out of the car, trying to reach her mother, but Blasco finds her and calms her down. She tells him her mom was there. They drive off quickly, but the creature controlling Lydia climbs onto the car roof. Marta tries to bandage the wound on Blasco's head as rain starts pouring down. Suddenly, they hear pounding on the roof. Blasco manages to knock Lydia down and runs her over several times, thinking he's killed her, but she stands up again and runs at an unbelievable speed. Blasco's head is hurting badly, so he tells Marta they need a password in case they get separated or one of them gets hurt. They agree on the word. Placido. Blasco's vision starts to blur, so he pulls over and asks Marta to get him some water. Lydia appears behind them and starts banging on the window, focused on Blasco in the front seat. Marta takes advantage of the moment, opens the door, and grabs the water. But Blasco's head hits the steering wheel, making a noise that drives Lydia into a frenzy. She smashes the glass until the small opening in the divider breaks open. She pushes her tongue through it and wraps it around Blasco's neck, choking him. Marta rushes in and saves him by shutting the opening and cutting off Lydia's tongue with a blade. Lydia falls, then gets back up and smashes the window, trying to grab Marta. Blasco regains consciousness just in time and speeds away. The monster refuses to give up. It chases them again, reaches the car, smashes the glass, and pulls Marta out, trying to kill her. Blasco sees only one option. He floors it and deliberately crashes the car into a tree, flipping it. When he wakes up, he searches for Marta. She says their password, Placide, and he knows it's really her. They run again. But Lydia's tongue lashes out and wraps around Marta once more, and the monster starts taking control of her. Blasco stops and challenges the creature to face him. He treats it like a bull, trying to tame it, and at first he succeeds. But the monster attacks again, trying to force the parasite into Blasco's mouth. This time Marta saves him by using the sword he once used in bullfighting. She pulls the parasite out of Lydia's body. They spray it with insecticide and set it on fire, finally destroying it. In the end, the cassette player turns back on, playing the music they both love. They decide to dance, like it's a wedding dance, a celebration after everything they've been through. Then they decide to go to the place where Blasco used to drink after bullfighting. When they walk in, no one is there. He decides to sit down and have a drink like usual, while Marta goes to the restroom. There, she notices the monster's sticky substance has appeared again. Blasco realizes that all the workers at the place have been taken over by the parasite. Marta walks out of the bathroom, clearly possessed. Blasco notices her face has changed, the wrinkles are gone. He takes one last sip of whiskey and says, "Welcome to the next rounds." And that's where the movie ends. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.